Why I'm getting problems with my headphones, I don't know. Well, hello, everybody. If you're coming in after the fact, of course, you know the drill. You go to 00:00, and guess what? You will be caught up. You'll be going right for the story. My headphones are, there we go. My headphones are taking a shit. The wires are all frayed. It's just the way things go in this wonderful world. All right. We should be live right now. I should have peeps from many different streaming platforms, including YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. Going to have to get myself a new headphone cable because this is maddening. Hey, Steve Rickenberg, how you doing? Hey, Cruz Mage, how you doing? So now, I don't know what happened to my headphones, but I'm only coming in on one ear. Fortunately, half of this thing, I don't have any ears going, so I'll continue to screw this, see if I can get just to balance out for tonight. Okay. Nope, still screwy. Hey, everybody. Hey, Cobalt, how you doing? Wires are frayed, you say. Seems legit. Cheers, everybody. Ragnar J, how you doing? Tony, how you doing? You guys, if now, of course, number one, we're a little late. We've had a few technical issues, prep issues, not necessarily technical issues, although they're kind of related. Hey, Sean. Hey, Don. And I'm a little scattered, a little rattled. A's been helping me get everything done. Edward, Rocco, John Bivens. Cheers right back to you, sir. So we got about 5 minutes. We're going to get through this as best we can. We're going to try and start right on time, which is when the counter gets to 0. Recluse Page, how are you late? Right on time. Christine, of course I'm calm. That's my job. I'm calm here. I'm not calm here. Here, I'm a creature of panic and rage. It's a fact. All right, we got people pouring in on YouTube. I love it. We got Facebook's been much slower. I'm sure they have probably found a way to throttle down people who want to watch video on Facebook, which is why they made Facebook Live. But right now they're sitting there and they're going, you know what? All the people who want to watch Scott on Facebook Live, we're going to find a way to make Scott pay to get all these people to watch Facebook Live. So that's why I would guess most of the world is D79. Most of the world's not actually seeing that I'm actually live on Facebook right now. So keep that in mind. If you're watching on Facebook, you might want to figure out how to watch this on YouTube or on Twitch, because it's clear Facebook is going to find yet another way to screw everyone who has spent decades building up a following on Facebook. Let me go ahead and get my script up here. Thank you, Cobalt. As Cobalt has mentioned in the chat room, feed the algorithm, spank that like button, ring that bell, not for me, not for Rob, but for Bengals. And make sure you are subscribed if you're on the YouTube. If you're on Facebook and you're watching, click like. If you're on Twitch, I don't know if you can click like for Twitch, but if you're on Twitch and you're just ghosting, throw a comment in there. It all helps the algorithm. Looks like we actually only have one person on Twitch right now, so maybe they're throttling all the business too. Steve Rickenberg says, less people on Facebook chat makes me use YouTube instead, and less active chat makes even less people active on YouTube. The thing is, Facebook is by far my biggest block of audience. Like 25,000 people have liked the page or something like that. And when I post something, almost nobody sees it. I am not at all alone in this. This is been a complaint for 5-6 years now. Facebook is always trying to find a way to nickel and dime you for more money. Robert Bresson, what's in the house? How you doing? Spank it like an elf and assless chaps. Thank you, Brian Leach. Dr. Campbell says, Heidi Scott, watching you on my phone for the first time because I am stuck at work. You shall not escape me. All right, I better get these goodies up here right now. All right. Got 3 minutes to get through all of the early stuff. I got to go to drive.google.com. Google.com is actually still pretty good. They're not too much of a money grub, but a little bit of a money grub. Not nearly in the category of Facebook. Facebook is just, it's one of those weird things, you know? It's like you would think you have half the planet using your stuff. You're making money. Everything's good. It's not the way corporate minds work. There's never enough money. Never, ever, ever enough money for them. And they always got to change shit. So I am also going to go outside and shake my fist at clouds and tell the kids to get off my lawn. Absolutely. So let's see. tonight's story is Mixed Track Tape, Mixtape Volume 1, Track 3, which is Mr. Sandman Part 2. That's a lot of numbers for a guy who's really only about words. I didn't really think through this nomenclature very well, but just imagine this is a cassette tape or a CD, and you're going through it track by track. And track 3 is the second part of track 2. After the episode, we're going to have to quit, restart. Remember, stick around for that because we're going to share stories about how we melted down meeting famous people, part 2, featuring both probably the best-selling author of the last 20 years in fantasy and a former president of the United States. So you guys are absolutely going to want to stick around for that. Got 1 minute left. Let's get my little doohickeys up here. Go to main. And of course, oh geez, that's a problem. And of course, we got to pimp out our advertisers. As always, GoDaddy.com has been an advertiser to us for 2 decades. If you need a new domain or you know someone who has a small business and they need a website, they need a domain, make sure you give them this code, CJCFOSSIG3, because that's going to get them 99% off the first year of that domain registration. It's a hell of a deal. We also sponsored by quince.com/Sigler. Quince is really, really good clothes and all kinds of other fancy stuff, but not at fancy prices. And with that sign up page or with that order page, you go to quince.com/Sigler, you get 365-day returns and free shipping. I don't think you get 365-day returns on caviar and champagne, which they now carry, which is wild. And then, of course, last but not least, stamps.com. We use it literally every day to ship you guys stuff that you buy from scottsigler.com/store. If you have a small business, if you ship anything, really go check it out. It's a hell of a deal. And when you go there, you sign up with the code Sigler100, and that's going to save you a bunch on postage. You get a free postage meter. You get all this cool stuff. So I had to get that out of the way. Now I think we're going to start getting into it, ladies and germs. Let me get my logic set up. You know what? All right. Party! So as I mentioned, we are a little bit scattered today. I'm going to do the best I can. Oh, somebody in the chat room is talking about Bengals safe word. You dirty dogs. Dirty, nasty, you nasty. You all nasty. All right, here we go. Make sure I got audio coming in. All right, now I'm going to move the chat to this screen over here that I can't see because I know y'all are talking about nasty game night stuff with Bengals. So last but not least, if you do have a good idea for game night for Bengals, you're going to want to send that to info@emptyset.com, and we'll have to read it first. So keep that in mind. Let's see how we're doing here. The recording, very, very well. All right. I will take off my headphones. Don't you worry, you little pretty heads about it. There we go. Showtime, bitches. Previously on Mr. Sandman. The year is 1953. The city is Frederick, Maryland. Felix Sandman is the head of a secret U.S. government research project tasked with bringing dead soldiers back to life. Intelligence says the Soviet Union is working on a similar project. Felix believes this is impossible, but if Uncle Sam is writing him big checks, he's happy to string them along. The bodies for this project are mostly homeless people and indigents who die in the streets, in shelters, or in hospitals. Their bodies are brought to the Berlinger Funeral Home, run by Helen Berlinger, the sole proprietor of a business that has been in her family for almost a century. Uncle Sam built a secret morgue in the basement of their funeral home in which Helen can process the bodies for Felix's experiments. Felix decided that their working relationship wasn't enough. He wanted a tawdry affair with Helen. After telling his wife, Susan, that he was going out of town on a conference, Felix met Helen at a bar. He intended to take her back to a favorite hotel of his, but Helen insisted they go back to her place, the funeral home. Felix thought this would lead to sex not only that night, but during work hours as well. At the funeral home, Helen led him into the secret morgue. There, Felix saw what she had done: create a dream man out of parts of corpses. She wants Felix to bring that man to life. Before Felix could run or even react, Helen sedated him. Staring at a body cobbled together from the dead, Felix felt a collar being placed around his neck just before he passed out. And now, part 2 of Mr. Sandman. The smell of cookies made him stir. Chocolate chip? He was so cold. His body ached. And his head. How much had he drunk? Awful hangover. Just awful. Felix lifted his head. A mistake, because even that hurt. Something around his neck. And was he on a floor? A cold, concrete floor? He remembered where he was. He remembered what had happened. He looked up at the steel embalming table, at the stub of a wrist hanging just over the edge. Severed radius and ulna making white circles in the gray-red flesh. Fear stabbed through him, chilled him worse than the icy floor, worse than the cold room. Helen. The collar. Felix grabbed at it. An electric shock made him jump and lurch, almost made him piss himself. "Don't bother, Mr. Sandman." Felix froze, the electrical echo still setting his nerves on edge, making his chilled skin tingle. He felt snot on his upper lip, warm but quickly cooling. Helen stood just inside the doorway, a plate of cookies held in one hand, a wired remote switch in her other. A white apron over a floral pattern button-down shirt-waist dress. Felix had bought Susan a similar dress for Christmas. Susan. She thought he was at a conference. She wouldn't call the police to find him. Not for days. She'd be alone with the boys. Felix might never see any of them again. He reached for the collar, but he paused. He'd never been shocked before, never felt pain like that before. "You can't take it off," Helen said. "I padlocked it. Every time you try, you'll get a shock." She lifted the remote switch slightly, showing it to him. A cable ran from it to a junction box on the wall. Seeing that cable made Felix realize he felt something running down his back, atop his coat. Another cable. What in God's name was happening? She had drugged him, put a collar on him, a collar that shocked him, and then locked it in place? Felix's mouth felt dry. He wasn't thinking clearly. A fog seemed to fill his aching head. "Helen, this is crazy," he said. "Turn that device off right now and give me the key." She stared at him. Her sex kitten makeup was gone. In its place, soft pink lipstick, a little bit of mascara. The kind of makeup a housewife might wear. The kind of dress a housewife might wear. "I'll let you out," she said, "after you bring me my dream." She set the plate of cookies next to a stainless steel bowl on the far embalming table. She put one cookie in the bowl, then bent at the knees and slid the bowl across the floor. It stopped inches from Felix. "Try it," she said. "I used Harvey's grandmother's recipe." Harvey, her husband. "He wasn't nice to me," Helen said. "He wasn't one of the good ones. He was a liar, Mr. Sandman. He's gone now." Felix swallowed. "Did you kill him?" Helen glanced off, seemed to take in the 16 stainless steel doors of the morgue cabinet. "Technically, he killed himself," she said. "If he had been paying attention to how things taste instead of just gulping them If he had been paying attention to how things taste instead of just gulping down food like some animal, he would have stopped eating." She had poisoned him? Felix stared at the cookie in the bowl. He shook his head. "I won't eat that," he said. Helen put her fists on her hips. "Don't be stupid, Mr. Sandman." Helen scowled, pronounced stupid as if it was the most forbidden curse word one could utter. "If I wanted to kill you, I wouldn't have woken you up. I didn't poison the cookies. Why would I? You're going to bring Frank to life. You can't bring Frank back to life if you're poisoned, now can you?" She was angry. Felix had made her angry. "I'm sorry," he said. "I didn't mean to insinuate anything. I didn't." His faltering lie failed him. This couldn't be happening. She had drugged him, chained him up, asked him to do the impossible, and he had made her angry. "Eat the cookie," she said. "I want to know if it's good. I don't really taste anything. Not the way other people do. I don't know why. I want the cookies to be good for Frank. Eat the cookie, Mr. Sandman." Helen's glare burned into him. She held the remote switch. She would shock him again. With shaking fingers, Felix picked up the cookie and took a delicate bite. He had to force himself to chew, still wondering, still knowing that it was poison. He tried to swallow. His throat wouldn't obey. Felix couldn't look at her, couldn't look at those vacant eyes. He tried again, forcing himself. The half-chewed confection slid down his throat. He willed a smile. "Delicious, Helen. It's delicious." So cold down here. He was shivering. The cold didn't seem to bother her. Harvey, her husband. She'd poisoned him? Had she been caught? Accused, at least? Something about that gave Felix hope. What if someone was still looking for the man? What if he had been found, an unknown corpse with a case file in some police station drawer? What happened to Harvey?" Felix looked to the cadaver cabinet, realized he'd never looked in them, save for the corpses that he had worked on, that he had cut up, that he had put back together. 16 doors. 16. Is he in one of those? Anger again creased Helen's face. "I'm starting to question my assumption that you're a genius. Don't you know what I do for our government? What I do to help against the pinko commies? What I do to be a patriot? Think about it. I can make people vanish." That fluttering ember of hope faded and snuffed out. Of course she could make people vanish. She dealt with unnamed corpses all the time. When those corpses were of no use, the U.S. government paid her to dispose of them. "I can make people vanish," Helen repeated. "I can make you vanish." It couldn't be happening, but it was. This was real. Few people knew about this funeral home's true purpose. His own wife wouldn't report him missing for at least another 2 days. He had checked into the hotel under a fake name. It wasn't as if Helen was suspecting any previous foul play, not at least as far as Felix knew. When he did turn up missing, would they check here? Would they even know he was missing? "Time to get to work, Mr. Sandman," Helen said. "My lonesome nights are over. Let me introduce you to my man." Sensible heels, clicking with each step, she kept the first two embalming tables between them as she walked to the third, the remote switch's cable dragging along behind her, pulling from a neat coil in the far corner. The fog in his head. She had planned this, making the collar, the cable, the remote switch. She'd planned it for him. Could he rush her? Could he pull the switch from her hand? It hit Felix then, suddenly, that even if he could reach her, maybe he couldn't take it from her at all. She was heavier than him by a few pounds. Was she stronger than him? He didn't move dead men on his own like she did. Felix stood. He was still wearing the suit he had worn to the bar when he thought he'd take Helen back to the hotel. He glanced to the black lab counter, which was on his side of the stainless steel tables. A weapon. He needed a weapon. "The collar has 4 settings, Mr. Sandman. The shock I gave you was level 1. I'm moving it to level 3. He heard 2 plastic clicks. Each one struck terror inside him, a desperate need to never feel that shock again. Felix moved to the last table. As he did, he heard another skittering sound behind him. The cord connected to his collar. It ran to a small hole in the wall. Not a jack, a hole. If he grabbed that cable and yanked it, would it pull free from wherever it connected? Would it pull free from wherever it connected, or would he just pull slack? He couldn't think. He didn't know what to do. No one knew he was here. Felix stepped to the table. On it lay the men, the parts of men, cobbled together to make one horrific, stitched-up Frankenstein. A Frankenstein without hands. "The arms are from Sebastian," she said. "He was my milkman. Such nice arms." She touched the patchwork man's wavy, platinum blonde locks. "There's a gas station only 2 miles from here. I love the attendant's hair. It reminds me of Liberace's. I wash it once a week. I know I don't need to. It's not like he's out working in the yard and getting all sweaty, but I want it to be nice. The legs are Harvey's." Harvey's legs. Harvey had been dead at least 2 years. Had she kept his body? Kept it where? "I always liked Harvey's legs. The feet are from a fellow I met at a bar last week. I know what you're thinking, Mr. Sandman. You're thinking, how could she know what his feet looked like? He was wearing shoes. Isn't that what you're thinking?" Felix felt himself nodding, felt the collar rubbing against the skin of his neck. "I know it's silly, but I just knew he had nice feet. And I was right. Do you know, I didn't even have to manicure them or clean beneath his toenails. I didn't have to do a thing. Just look at them." Felix found himself looking at the feet, although he didn't notice the nails. His gaze traced to the thick black stitches just above the ankles. She had killed a man, cut off his feet, sewed them onto her dead husband's legs. Oh, God. Oh, God. "I haven't found the right hands, though," Helen said. Draw 4 and 5 had some. Draw 4 and 5 have some good ones. They'll do. They won't be perfect, but what man is perfect? He'll be lovely, Mr. Sandman. Lovely. Don't you think he's handsome? It was hard to breathe. His head hurt. The collar itched. How could he be hot and cold at the same time? Arms, legs, feet, head. 4 dead men lying on the table in front of him. Helen was a murderer, a psychopath. I asked you a question, Mr. Sandman. Don't you think he's handsome? Felix finally looked at her. Soulless eyes. The eyes of a spider. Hard to breathe. He had to get out of there. What you want me to do is impossible, Felix said. I can't bring the dead back to life. Let me go, Helen. It's impossible. She arched one thin eyebrow. Finally, an emotion other than anger in her eyes. The glint of humor. You think you're so smart. Well, you are smart. I suppose I should say you think you're so clever. Her fingertip tapped lightly against the remote switch. Red nail polish. A short nail, because Helen worked with her hands, carrying bodies, cutting up bodies. You wrote some of your progress reports here, Mr. Sandman. Remember? I read them. I know what you can do. You said in your last report that reanimating the deceased was imminently possible. I like that phrase. Imminently possible. And that you are on course. Don't lie to me, Mr. Sandman. That's what Harvey did. Felix's legs trembled. His body rattled. 2 years ago, a man from the government had read some of Felix's research and asked him if it was possible to bring the dead back to life. On a whim, Felix had said, all things are possible with a big enough research budget. More questions came. Could he do the work by himself, or with as small a staff as possible? Would he relocate to Frederick? And are you now, or have you ever been, a member of the Communist Party? Once Felix understood the project was a real possibility, once he understood how much the military feared the Soviet Union, and once he understood how much money he could make, Felix told everyone what they wanted to hear, which put him in this place, at this time, with this monster. I'm not lying, Felix said, the words like sandpaper in his mouth. It's not possible, Helen. It's not. Just let me go. That barely discernible glint of emotion, of humor, drained from her eyes. Her spider eyes. Her predator eyes. You can't make my Frank live, she said. Is that the truth? Felix found himself nodding too fast, too hard, making his head feel like his brain was bouncing off the inside of his skull. Right. His tongue stuck to the roof of his mouth. He had to open his mouth wide to free it. Yes, it's not possible. Right, it's not possible. Helen's red-painted fingertip tapped against the button. A spider leg tapping a silk thread. That means you lied to the government, she said. You lied to your country. Felix found himself shaking his head, but she was right. She had to understand. It was all a con, a long, lucrative con. I did. They paid me, Helen. I needed the money for my family. I have to get back to my wife, my sons. Let me go, Helen. I swear I won't tell anyone about this place, about what you... His gaze flicked to the patchwork corpse, up and down it, across the heavy black stitches. About anything. I swear. He felt her insectile stare upon him, but he couldn't meet it. The corpse, the patchwork man, the toes, like pale white beans. The toenails, so clean. Then you are a liar, Helen said. A liar who can't help me. All of the good ones are taken, Mr. Sandman, and you are not one of the good ones. But there is one thing you can do for me. A beam of pure hope flashed, clearing away the fog, giving Felix something to focus on. He looked at her, then looked at the calm killer, the passionless murderer. What can I do? What? What can I do, Helen? Her spider eyes flicked down, then back up. You're not one of the good ones, Mr. Sandman. But you do have nice hands. Nice hands? Felix lunged at her, his nice hands grabbing for her throat. He almost reached her before the shock, the awful shock, the level 3 shock, tore his thoughts apart. That is the conclusion of Mr. Sandman. All right, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, pump up the volume, pump up the volume. We're going to get a real girl herself up here real soon. I'm going to need to ask her to wear the necklace I got her a couple years ago because it says a real girl herself. I thought it was very clever. Very, very clever, Mr. Sandman. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. And again, the mixtape stories are all isolated. You know, there's not going to be a continuum through these. So they're really, they're snacks. They're little horror snacks is what they are. You know, you don't need, it's not a full meal. It's just beautiful snacks. Cobalt says that was awesome. Old school FTO. It is old school FTO. It's a ton of fun to write. I forgot which story or song I'm doing next, but we did 1974. Then we jump back to 1953. So I think to kind of keep things, you know, bouncy, you got to keep bouncy, got to stay on your feet. Pop, 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 pop. We're going to keep, we're going to bump up to either the 2020s, the 2010s, at least in the aughts. And I'm not sure what song we're going to do next, but there are some other oldies coming up. I just, because I play Mr. Sandman over and over and listen to it. And on Spotify, if it finishes, it just rolls on to the next song. And all these songs are from the 50s. And one that really jumped out at me that I hadn't thought about before was Mac the Knife. Such a fucking good song, dude. I actually added to my favorite playlist. It's very dark. It sounds dark to me. But then again, you guys know my brain. It all sounds kind of dark. Doc Campbell says, super creepy. Edward Rocca also says old school stuff. Martin Evans, liking the period speak. That's right. I wish I had worked on that a little bit more, but that it's called the Midwestern twang. I think A might help me with this, but there was a reason they talk like that in the 40s and 50s. And from what I've read, it was due to the fact that it helped with the technology because microphones weren't as good as they are now. And talking in that mid-range twang really helped the voices cut through on the technology that they had. Hold on a bit. Oh, you're good. You're good. I should have had that right for you. So I need to go to preview projector, new window. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Preview projector. Source projector? Oh, it's right there. Oh, I got it. It was right in front of me the whole time. The whole time. The whole time it was right, and there it is. Right in front of me. Mm-hmm. Here you go. Now we're going to go to A's camera. Oh, guys, look who's here.
We are completely separate today. Oh, I need headphones and all the jazz.
Yep. Aw, gosh darn it. Now my gosh darn A sound's gone. My sitcom sound is gone.
Evening show. Nice to see you.
It's constant. Scooch over, butt over. I move my drinks, girl.
Move your drinks.
Move drinks. Scooter mixtape. Everybody say hello to A. Pew. Okay.
Point my thing.
Not hearing yourself?
I don't think I'm hearing myself.
Okay, hold on.
I might be. No, I am. I lied.
You lied? You hearing it good?
Now I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And me.
How
John, nice to see
am I too loud for you?
You're a little bit loud, but that's all right.
Baby, I was born loud.
Don't I know it? Hey, Michael, nice to see you.
How's
Today's
that?
Our day. It's good.
Yeah, is that Michael Moore in the house?
Yeah.
Michael Moore is actually going to be featured on this little event we're about to do right now.
Close this curtain because you've got.
God, was that there the whole time? Yep.
Well, you couldn't see it before.
I told him we were scrambling.
We were scrambling. Oh my gosh, you guys, we were scrambling, and we're supposed to see if we can angle our microphones a little bit apart. There we go.
Yeah, our bleed's been great the past 2 episodes. So
Yeah.
lighting's a little off, but we're not going to screw with it. There's nothing we can do about it right now.
Only hearing A in Scott's mic. Is my mic on?
Now it's
Thank
on.
you for the lovely bouquet.
How's that? Is that
yeah,
better?
now I can hear you both in my ears.
No fucking
Us
wonder we're having
both in
troubles.
it.
No, we're having
One
troubles.
second.
Okay, so because we were scrambling, it didn't do as much prep as I would like to have done on the meeting famous people stuff. So we're going to absolutely just do the best we can. You need to bring that down, babe?
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
As far as it'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Then
think
that's
that's fine. That framing's good.
Also, before we begin that, before we stop and restart all that jazz, I want to say this past weekend was Scott's birthday. A lot of you reached out on Facebook and email and everything else. Our friend Steve Rickyberg was with us this weekend to celebrate Scott's birthday.
Good times, good
But
times.
here's the thing. He had, my gift to him was essentially a no work, hang out with your pals all day Sunday. That was it. That was the gift. All day Sunday football watching party. So he probably hasn't even been on Facebook since Wednesday or Thursday of last week. So I want to say to all of you who reached out or mentioned or all of that stuff, thank you so much. And I'm sure he will eventually,
Yes.
sometime in 2029,
Gracias.
see a lot of that stuff.
Gracias. All right, so now we're going to do our housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
And thank D79. Just threw us a little bit of change. Thank you, sir.
The big British one. I love it.
Remember, as soon as I finish housekeeping, we're going to stop the stream, start a new stream. We have to switch over. And so you guys, everything's going to cut out. And then right where you're watching this right now, it's going to pop back up again. And if you don't see it pop back up again, you just need to refresh. Give us about a minute, 2 minutes, and then we will bullshit until it is time to do it's your thing, girl. Do what you want to do. It's your thing, girl. Okay, so let's go over the housekeeping. Mixtape, Sunday, November 30th. It was my birthday. Mixtape track number 2, Mr. Sandman Part 1, hit the podcast feed. Tuesday, November 28th, Deep Cut 74, Why We Are Thankful for the GFL, hit the podcast feed.
Mm-hmm.
In tonight's Deep Cuts, we're going to talk about how we melted down meeting famous people, Part 2. We're not proud of these stories.
I mean, these are the messy ones. We don't even have pictures with many of the people.
We don't, which is in itself part of a great story.
Absolutely.
Sunday, December 7th, tonight's episode, Mixtape Track 3, Mr. Sandman Part 2, is going to go live in the feed. Saturday, oh God, I didn't do the damn graphic for Steve again.
That's okay.
That's right.
Saturday, this coming Saturday is the Junkie Hangout. And I am pretty sure I am joining for at least part of it. So that says Saturday, November 1st. It's not. It's Saturday, December 6th. And
But
pretty
that
sure I'm going
address,
to be
you
in
hit
there.
that address.
Yeah, you can hit that address. That still works. And you can also go to the Sigler Junkies Facebook page or Sigler Junkies group Facebook page. And I do know that you often send out a reminder right around the time that it starts because Steve asks him to.
Yes, we actually, funny you should mention that, Hold on. Because we send out a reminder on the SMS list. If you're not on the SMS list, you should be. Just text the word SIGTEXT, SIGTXT, to 855-955-5095. And guess what? You'll be ready to get those alerts. And of course, it's been a while since I sent a newsletter out. I'm working on it. We actually have some significant news coming up, and that'll be first released in the next newsletter. Go to scottsigler.com/newsletter. Sign up for that. And of course, goddamn well, we don't sell your shit to nobody. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them all.
I mean, I don't even know if I can always access your information. I'm not so tech savvy. And this one.
I already know you're in. No, I fucking.
We know.
You guys know I'm not accessing jack shit. You know this. And last but not least, if there's anything that you want to tell us or you want to see it as a Deep Cuts episode, we're going to continue doing Deep Cuts as a podcast once we stop the live stream. You can just email that all to info@emptyset.com.
And I do want to mention, if you hadn't seen it, a couple of Fridays ago, we launched our Friday fire sale. And I got a ton of questions about it. And what it is we get a lot of copies of the books that Scott's in. Often that's the payment. If it's an anthology and it's a previously published book, they send you a few copies of it. So we have a garage full of random Scott adjacent books and some Scott foreign editions, things like that. And what we've started to do is every other Friday or so, roughly, we put a handful of things up in the fire sale section at our store. They are discounted price, and you will pay normal shipping for wherever you live. So far, I think almost everything, except for there was one signed copy of Dread Coast, which is an active release right now and is a charity release. Everything was $10. Dread Coast was $15. That's probably going to continue. And once they're gone, they're gone. If you want, I did have a couple of people say, I missed that, but gosh, I would love that. And we have a storage unit full of stuff. So if you miss something and you want it, let me know by email, info@emptyset.com, and I can keep that list as well, just in case we find more copies. And then I won't put them on the fire sale. I will email you for the same price, that sort of thing.
Yeah, our warehouse makes Indiana Jones's warehouse look tiny. There's
it is a warehouse 13,
crates,
but
it goes on forever. There's ne'er-do-wells in there. There are altars and idols and statues and podiums and pillars, all the stuff, and also like a bunch of books too. All right, so we are about to go do our
switch.
About to do that switch. So you guys hang out where you are. We're killing it on YouTube today. So all YouTubers, make sure you hang out. Facebook.
Mage, I love Warehouse 13 too.
Facebook, throttle us down. They throttle us down. So, but you come back, and we even have 5 people on Twitch at this very second. We want you back, you sons of bitches.
Come on back and join us. It's so embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm not